Both of Kennywood's steel roller coasters are now closed. The Steel Curtain, which is closed for the entire season, and now the Phantom's Revenge, which just closed Saturday May 4th. And people are not happy, sharing their frustration on social media. And the common question here is, why is the Phantom's Revenge closed? Which people have shared many different rumors online, some really ridiculous and some on the right track. And you know how it is online. One source says this, another says another thing. You see it everywhere. A ton of misinformation gets spread, and at the end you really don't get anywhere, except everybody making Kennywood look like they're the bad guys. In reality, rides break down, things happen, it's just how things go. But in the middle of all that misinformation, there is some truth out there online. And in today's video, I'll be uncovering the truth of why the Phantom's Revenge is really closed. If you went to the park Saturday, May 4th or Sunday, May 5th, you would have been greeted by a sorry closed sign in front of Phantom's Revenge. At first, yeah, you may be pissed off, but one thing Kennywood did do to make people's days better is giving tickets to return. Even if you were a pass holder, they still gave tickets out. And I want to say right off the bat, Kennywood is not the bad guy here. The higher-ups one morning didn't just wake up and say, hey, we're just gonna go close Phantom's Revenge today, because why not? No, there was obviously a reason. They don't just close rides for no reason. They don't do that to ruin your day, they do it for your safety. And in this case, they found something wrong, and thus they closed the ride. Breakdowns happen. They happen to all coasters, all flat rides, anything to do with machinery. Remember that these rides are just machines. They break. Parts don't last forever, nor does the track, which now this leads into a little bit of insight of what's going on. So firstly, let's mention the fact that there were maintenance workers on the lift hill of Phantom on Sunday. They were inspecting the lift hill, and obviously if you put two and two together, there's an issue with the lift hill. But it seems there's multiple issues that are lingering around. But the first main lingering issue, as I'll call it, is the fact that there was a vibration on the Phantom's lift hill if you've rode it recently. And I would say recently as in August, July of last year maybe, till about now. If you always ride in the back of the ride, you probably never have noticed it, but if you ride up front, you do notice it. People say the first 4 rows are the ones that you really feel it, and I know what they're talking about because I've felt it myself. Now the times I've rode in the front row or close to it and have felt this, it's not necessarily that bad. This was like August of last year, it could have gone worse. I would say it just felt very bumpy. It wasn't like shaking, but it was bumpy. And how people describe it now, I've heard one person use the term that it felt like sandpaper, which also got me thinking, this lift hill is 30 years old. It's original from Steel Phantom, and being exposed to Pittsburgh weather for 30 years with steel in mind, that is not a good combination. And essentially, steel, after 30 years of being exposed to weather, it's all rusty, disgusting, nasty. Well, that's essentially what that sandpaper feeling is. It's rust. And yeah, sure, they just repainted it in 2022. Okay, yeah, but you can paint things as many times as you want to, but what's below that paint will always stay the same. Under that petrifying purple painted lift hill is still Steel Phantom's original lift hill from 1991. So could that be the problem? At least in terms of a lift hill vibration, yeah, it could be. It makes sense. I mean, yeah, it does. Rust, sandpaper, whoever thought of that comparison's a genius. I guess I'm the genius here. But here's why maybe that's not the case. There's tons, countless of other steel roller coasters that have been around way longer than Steel Phantom, even made by the same manufacturer, Aerodynamics, and something like this is unheard of. You don't really hear an Aerodynamics roller coaster lift hill being rough. You hear about how jerky the ride experience was, but you don't ever hear of a lift hill being rough. Maybe the track is just showing its age? This specific topic could be debated for hours and hours and hours. I don't have time for that, but you guys can have your own opinions about this. My personal opinion is that it's a possibility, but I really don't see it. It just really doesn't make much sense. The part about this being the original Steel Phantom lift hill can justify this, But wouldn't that mean that the other parts of the ride are rusting too? Surely they probably are, but it's kind of odd how it's just the lift hill doing this and not the rest of the ride. Thankfully, this is the best case scenario that it's just the lift hill and nothing else, but it does not add up. Maybe it could be the technological advancements between Steel Phantom and Phantom's Revenge. Remember, when the Phantom's Revenge was built, they had computers, they had all that. When Steel Phantom was built, they did not. In this photo from a little bit ago, when the track was still green, you can see a rust spot at the top of the lift hill. Do you also see the green color differences? The green going down the drop is from 2009 when they retracked the first drop, all the way throughout to the top of the second drop. The other green on the lift hill is from Steel Phantom, and below that green, believe it or not, is actually still the black track from Steel Phantom. The little rust patch there is the in-between section for some really odd reason and never painted it. Yes, I love the repaint, I love the purple, it's great, it looks amazing. But what's below that is genuinely concerning. And now do you see why Kennywood does not specify what's actually wrong with rides when they're closed? Stuff like this could be going down behind the scenes, and they don't want that in public view. Because if they go out on social media and say, oh, our coaster's rusting, well, everybody is going to get upset. They're going to think their life's in danger. Oh no, I'm going to die on this coaster. Kennywood's going to kill me. No. Just no. If you think that, please take a chill pill. You'll be fine. And I do want to remind you guys, everything I'm saying is not a fact. This is just speculation. The only thing we really know for a fact is there's something that is an issue on the lift hill because they were on the lift hill inspecting the lift hill. So put two and two together, you get the idea that something's wrong with the lift hill, right? And me bringing up this whole rust thing, all coasters rust. They all have. Every coaster, every steel coaster you've been on probably is experiencing rusting. It's just something that happens with steel, and there's nothing to be worried about. The only thing why I bring up steel rusting and all that stuff is because maybe that's why the vibration is happening in the first place. I'm not saying you're in danger. I'm not saying anything close to that. I'm just saying maybe that's why there's a bumpy experience on the lift hill. You're shaking or whatever's going on. The vibration could be caused potentially by rust. Because that analogy there with rust and sandpaper and the track being old, it makes sense. It aligns up. I don't want you guys thinking there's some kind of safety issue. There's nothing like that. Once again, this is completely normal for roller coasters. And this ain't even a fact, so this may not even be what's causing the vibration. But that's the most logical reason. And I have talked with a few others, and allegedly it's nothing to do with the trains. It all has to do with the track. If this is right, then this reason makes sense. Because the train is making direct contact with the track, and if the track's rusty, at least the outer rails, that does not mean the whole thing is full of rust. That's even if this rust issue even is true. But just those wheels at the bottom making contact with the track. If you have ever touched rust before, please do not do that. That is not safe unless if you want to get tetanus. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that rust is not a smooth material. It's extremely rough, jerky, and that could cause the vibration. So I hope something out of that made sense. I just want to ensure all of you guys know where I'm coming from, what I mean, so there's no miscommunication here. But moving on from the rust episode, as I'll call it, I have also heard the rumor parts may be breaking. And we're all talking about the lift hill here, and you know what the lift hill has, the motor, the chain, all of that. And that's original from Steel Phantom also. Yes, it gets replaced every so often, but most of it is pretty old. So maybe something just broke all of a sudden and it left the ride closed. Because Kennywood's intention was for the ride to be open. They do not want both of their big steel roller coasters closed at the same time. This was not planned. So if a part broke, like the chain lift or the motor, then that's an essential part of the ride. And if something like that broke, the ride would not be able to run even if you really wanted it to. So if anything, that's probably what's happening. They're also addressing the lift hill vibration. So that's the second thing. The main thing would probably be a part breaking. That's what forced it to close. The lift hill vibration is just another thing they're checking out due to the fact that it's already closed, and they might as well get that out of the way. And from what I'm hearing, people do not like the lift hill vibration, so they probably do want to get that fixed before it reopens. So going back to the beginning, does Kennywood want to piss you off? No. Do you really think they want their biggest attraction closed alongside their other biggest attraction? They obviously want the ride to be open, so we just gotta wait and see and hope for the best. Who knows, the ride may open back up Saturday. Yes, this Saturday. Or it could be a few weeks. But do I see this being a long-term closure? No, I really don't. If there's anything big, they'll get sorted out and it'll be back open in no time. But if I ask a favor from all of you guys, please do not harass Kennywood. They're trying their absolute hardest to get the ride back open. They share the same frustration as you do, so please do not send hate comments to them. Don't go on their social medias and say, "Why is my favorite ride closed? You guys are the biggest jerks ever." Just please do not do that. It's not making the situation any better. But anyways, I want to hear what you guys think about this. How long do you think it'll be until the Phantom reopens? What do you guys think's wrong with it? Let me know in the comments down below. And remember to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more content like this. I post tons of other coaster content and Kennywood content just like this that you will not want to miss. Also, go join our Discord server where you can join in on the Kennywood discussion with other Kennywood fans just like you. You could join by the code on the screen right now or by going in the description and clicking the link in there. But anyways, I thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and remember, let's ride.